and welcome to Reginaldesq. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the Tier 4 Polish light tank, the 14TP. So is it any good? Well, it's okay. It has a couple of strange, strange limitations that stop it from being a good tank, but it's not a bad tank. You can have quite reasonable games in this tank. It just doesn't really hold up against some of the other Tier 4s very well. I have toolkit, binoculars and camouflage net fitted because they're the free ones, so at low tiers I tend to use them. If I really love the tank, I want to keep playing it for a while, I might fit something extra, but I wasn't really in love with this tank. My crew is fully trained, although my commander is still working on 6th Sense, so that won't count for anything. All the rest of them are working on camouflage, and for some reason, I think it's because I used one of the female tank crew I had, I think she's the radio operator. She's got Brothers in Arms, which of course won't count because no one else has got it, but she has got situational awareness, so that will boost the view range a little bit, and she's working on camouflage. The tank, good things about the tank? Well, as far as being a scout tank goes, I just really can't think of anything actually good about this tank, other than its camouflage is quite good, and its gun, I guess, if you've got a choice between a couple of guns. Actually, let me just show you that while we're at it. If we go into research, you've got a choice between this Bofors A gun, which I've got fitted on at the moment, and you've got a 47mm as well. So the 47mm is your traditional sort of one-shot gun, and this Bofors, some of the British tanks have got them. I think the M5 Stuart, the American one's got it as well, or similar gun, where it's a multi-cannon. It has 4 rounds in a clip, and every time you press the mouse button it fires 2 rounds, and then it fires another 2 rounds. So I've got a game for you with each of these guns just to show you a bit of difference. But basically the 47mm has 62 mils of penetration, which isn't a lot of pen. 75 damage though is really good damage for a Tier 4 light tank. 0.38 dispersion and an aiming time of 2 seconds. It's actually quite a good gun, but it has a long loading time for Tier 4, so it's a bit of a low DPM gun, and so it's suited for sniping, which would be okay if it wasn't for the fact that the penetration on this gun drops incredibly quickly over distance. Now it does that for, I believe, since they modified the light tanks, they all lose penetration over distance, but this thing is ridiculous. This thing starts losing penetration as soon as it leaves the gun. So even getting through 50 mils of armor from like 30 meters is really difficult with this gun. It loses penetration very quickly. On the Bofors gun here on the left, we've got 4 shells in a magazine. As I said, it fires 2 shells at a time. It takes 6.5 seconds to load the magazine, which is quite a long reload. 52 mils of penetration, so even less penetration, and 50 points of damage per shot though, which is quite a lot. So with those 4 shots, potentially you could do 200 points of damage, which is a lot of damage very quickly delivered. 0.4 dispersion, an aiming time though of 2.5 seconds, which is pretty horrific at the tier and stops it being a really good gun. Anyway, it says range here of 400 meters, which most of these type of guns, these sort of multi-fire guns, do have a limited range, so you can't hit anything over 400 meters, it simply won't pen. Alright, so what we're going to do now is have a quick look at a camouflage comparison, then we're going to have a look to compare the tanks, and then we'll get into some gameplay. Alright, we're at the What Info site, where it's a good site for looking at camouflage characteristics of different tanks. So the green bars show you the stationary camouflage, the yellow bar is camouflage whilst moving, and because these are scout tanks, they maintain their camouflage whilst moving. Except of course the AMX-40, which is not a scout tank. So you can see on the AMX-40 here the moving camouflage is lower than the stationary camouflage, and the red bar is your camouflage value when you fire your gun. So the values themselves don't mean much until you get to know them, but you know, anything above sort of 13 is okay, anything above 16 is pretty darn good. So you could see here that on our 14TP, which is the bottom tank here, we have 16.61, which is pretty good. The best in class is the Keiho, the Japanese tank, with 19.21, which is really good. You can get tanks like the E25, I think it's about 23. There's some tanks have over 20 at higher tiers, but down here this is what we're looking at. So let's see, we're very similar. M5 Stuart has 16.19, so we're very similar in camouflage values to the M5 Stuart. Anyway, that'll give you a bit of an idea. It is fairly well camouflaged, this tank. Now let's have a look at the tank comparison. I'll just move this a little bit. Hopefully it just doesn't give anyone a headache when you're moving this around whilst it's recording. Okay, so the 14TP is here. I haven't included the AMX because it's virtually a heavy tank really at its tier. So the DPM straight away you can see is very low compared to most of the other tanks. The Lux and the Valentine also have a low DPM. I will change this. This is currently the 47mm. I will change it to the Bofors A gun in a minute and you'll see the DPM will change. 62 mils of penetration with this gun is a little bit low. There are a few with lower pen, but the majority of them have higher pen. 75 damage per shot though is the equal best along with the KHO, so that side of it is very, very good. However, the KHO has a very good reload time of 2.4 and a much better penetration of 87. So the KHO wins as far as the gun damage, hands down. It's way, way better, and it is actually a very good tier 4 light tank. Reload time of 3.9 seconds, as I said, is a little slow here. So caliber 47mm, shell velocity of 885 is okay and about average for its tier. Maximum range is 720, so it's a long range gun. Some of these others are limited to 400, as is the Bofors A, we'll show in a minute. The aim time of 1.92 seconds is pretty darn good. The best in class though is the M5 Stuart, 1.63 on its multi-fire cannon gun. But our aim time though is very good. Dispersion of 0.36 is the best in class. As we know though, this figure doesn't mean a lot in game. I think it is meant to be a sniping gun though, but because the penetration drops so quickly over range, it's not effective as a sniping gun. You'll just bounce a lot of shots, unfortunately. The turret traverse, oh no, that's the dispersion loss, forget that. Elevation of 20 degrees is fairly good. Gun depression of 8 degrees is good, so it can do fairly well on hills. Forward speed of 50 kilometers an hour means this is not a fast light tank. As you can see, a lot of the others are very fast. The A20, of course, it's 72 kilometers an hour. M5 Stuart, 64, etc. The T80 is slower at 45, and the Valentine, of course, is only 24, but that's a bit of a weird tank. Probably should have included that. The AMX is also, of course, very, very slow. Reverse speed of 20 is about average. The dispersion on this, like the terrain resistances are actually fairly good on this tank, which is good because its top speed isn't that good. It does accelerate quite well, I can say. The turret traverse of 39 isn't very good compared to some of these other tanks which have traverses around about the 50 mark. And the track traverse though of 52 is very good, and there are only a couple of tanks that have a better track traverse. So the tank is powerful at low speeds and agile. It just doesn't have a good top speed. The armor, it's got 30 mils at the front and 27, 25 on the side, so it can bounce some of those tier 3 multi-cannons like Panzer 1Cs. All that said, I did get smashed by a couple of Panzer 1Cs, so it doesn't stop all of the rounds. It does stop a few of them though. But other than that, we're not going to look at the armor. It's not that good. The health on this tank though is 360, which is 20 more than any of the other tanks listed here. All the rest you can see are 340. So usually when you get lots of extra hit points, it usually means that they think you're going to get smashed. So possibly the target is a little bit of a big target and it's very soft. What else can we say? The view range of 330 meters is the equal worst in class and is a bit, I don't know why it's so bad. It really shouldn't be, but it is. So it has poor view range, 330, which stops it from being a really good scout tank. As you can see, the best in class here is the Panzer 38 NA with 370, and the M5 Stuart has 360, so 330 is just not cutting it really. The radio range of 365 is inexplicably bad, and is another really weird thing about this tank that stops it from being a good scout tank. So if you're more than 365 meters away from artillery, you basically can't tell artillery where the enemy tanks are. So it's kind of not very good. The next worst in class is 474 from the Lux. So I don't know why they've done that, but it's ridiculous. What else can we tell you? We'll change the gun now just so you can see with the Bofors. So with the Bofors, a DPM shoots up from about 1,000 to 1,500 straight away. The penetration though drops to 52, which is pretty tragic considering the M5 Stuart has a similar gun with 56. It has 5 shots in the magazine, we have 4 shots. It does 40 rounds, 40 damage per round, we do 50 per round. We take 6.5 seconds to reload our magazine, the M5 should take 6.9 seconds. So potentially we can do 200 damage in a clip, but we have a very long aim time for some reason in this gun, 2.4 seconds. The M5 Stuart only has 1.63 seconds with its multi-fire cannon. So this makes it almost the worst aiming time of its tier. Only the Valentine is worse at 2.5. So for some reason they've given this gun a terrible aim time. Now generally speaking, because it fires 2 shells at once, basically when a second shell fires, the gun has dispersed so much that really it's like firing without aiming. So the first shell will generally be your accurate one, the second one can go pretty much anywhere. So if you're at more than sort of about 25-30 meters from the tank, the chance of your second shot hitting the tank anyway are pretty slim. If you want to get all 4 shots rapid fire to hit the tank, you pretty much have to be next to them. So the aim time is a real problem. 0.38 dispersion is, yeah, okay, not that good with this tank. What else can we tell you about this gun? Still has 8 degrees of gun depression, which is okay, and that's about all I need to say about that. The map is Redshire and it's a tier 4 game. Every tank in the game is tier 4. Let me just change the tank names, there they are. So everything is tier 4. Now the reason I fired my gun was my second game with the Bofors. I actually only played 2 games with using the Bofors A gun. And I wanted to test out how it fired because I didn't know it was 2 shots per mouse click in the first game I played in it, and I was abysmal with it because I couldn't work out how the gun was firing. So I just did a test at the start of this game and then just to see if it was 2 rounds per mouse press, and it is. So I'm actually getting into a spotting position. This is not a bad spotting position at high tiers as well. But I'm not sure how my view range is going to go. It is not a very good view range, but I've got binoculars fitted, so I'm hoping that will give me a bit of an edge and I'll be able to do a bit of spotting. Hopefully shoot them from far enough away that they won't be able to spot me. Got him through the 8 degrees of gun depression isn't quite good enough to get a shot, so I move into the open, which is a bit dangerous. As you can see, the lower part I have a shot out there. I let all my 4 shells go because it was backing up, so just getting a chance of hitting it. I decided to back right up in case I was spotted because I don't have 6th sense. And I don't want to give people a chance to pelt me, so I move back now into position. So as you probably saw there, the tank isn't slow, but it's not, you know, one of your faster tanks either. Just seeing if we've got a shot on the side of that tank destroyer. We don't really. A tank has been spotted back there, but it's not. Oh, this one's out in the open, so let's see if we can aim. It's got a very long aim time. I missed with that. Well, both those shells. And one of those shells hit, so we did get at least some damage in, 48 points of damage. We also tracked it, so we got some assist, 122 points of assist damage there. He's behind the rock there, so I don't want to stay out in the open for too long. So there are no bots in this game, it's all humans. Okay, Marder 38T. I don't want to get shot by him. Very good gun, but he's also very soft. I decided to move forward now because I don't appear to be getting spotted when I'm out in the open. So I want to move up a little bit so I get a bit closer so I can do a bit more spotting. There's a Valentine there. I'm not going to shoot because, as you can see by the red indicator, it's impossible for me to penetrate. Now, if the range is over 400 meters, I can't penetrate anyway. Now, this range is less than 400 meters. We are 283 meters away there, and you can see we get a shot into that guy. I only fired 2 of my 4. I've still got 2 in the gun. Just waiting to see. I just decided to let those couple of shells go just in case. Now I've got a Panzer 2640. Oh no, that's the Czechoslovakian one, isn't it? And there's a Lux as well. I don't want to fire right now because the Lux will probably spot me and I'll get torn to bits. So I'm just going to sit here and spot because I've got that Lux and we've got that other P26 coming up as well. Now we just got some assistance damage here for spotting the Valentine, which was over on our left. And we're getting assistance damage with Lux now. He's getting hammered. And a tank next to me, which has come down to do some shooting, obviously thought it was a safe spot because I was sitting here and not getting shot, but He fired his gun and so then got smashed. So that's why I haven't been firing. So he's caught fire the Lux, which is okay, because I don't know if we get assistance damage when it's fire. We've got assistance damage from getting hit, but I don't think we get in for the fire. So if this guy comes out from cover, I probably will risk taking the shot because... no, we haven't got a shot there. I might actually risk taking a shot on this guy because yeah, I'd put the shot in there and then I'd run. Because I figured, you know, what the hell, he's going to die, so that neither of those two tanks can shoot me. But I didn't realise that the enemy tanks have made it all the way basically close to our cap. So I get hit there, I bounce a shot from behind, which looks like I bounced off my tracks, I've got damaged tracks. And I'm trying to find this tank here, and I can see there's a T-28. Very, very, very dangerous tank. One of those shots hit, I think the first one, and I think the first one of that second lot of 2 shells hit. So we hit 2 shells out of the 4, which is pretty common unless you're point blank range with this tank. 2 shells in, and I think we hit him with all 4 shells, but maybe only 2 of them penetrated, which is unbelievable when you think of how soft the T-95 actually is. And then we just got pounded from behind by a bunch of tanks up on the hill. So, oh well. So ends our game with the Bofors A gun. That was a Class 1 of the tank, and we actually got patrol duty as well. We actually did fairly well on the spotting side of things. So we finished second in our team with, what is it? Is that 647 or 5? Must be 547. Or it might be, no, 647 I think. Experience. Okay. What did we do? We fired 28 shots, 11 of them hit. So you can see the accuracy with this Bofors A gun is horrible. 8 of them penetrated. Total damage of 362, which isn't a heck of a lot, but, you know, what else can we say? We received 6 hits. We actually bounced a couple of them. Damage block bomb was 75. What else can we say here? We spotted 3, damage 5, destroying 1, and we did over 1,033 spotting, which is not bad at tier 4. 19,000 profit is not too bad for a tier 4 tank. The map is Himmelsdorf, and we're top tier. Tier 4 and Tier 3, we're top tier, and there are also 7 bots on each side, so we're going to kick butt! I hope. Maybe. Are we? I don't know. Well, we must do alright because I'm showing you the replay, right? I'm going to one of my favourite bits or spots here, if you've got reasonable gun depression in Himmelsdorf, straight up here. Sometimes you catch people coming straight up the middle road, like I actually do myself sometimes. And sometimes they're a little bit slow to come up the middle road, so you can catch them pre-aiming just in case, getting ready. Now this gun is the 47mm, has 62 mils of penetration. So the first thing I do, it's not very good penetration, so the first thing I do is I look at the team lineup and see who on the opposition team can I not penetrate, and who must I run from instantly if I see them. Oh, Panzer 38 NA, so much for the accuracy. Go, 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 get him, get him. Fully aimed, missed again. Come on, this time for sure. Yay! So yeah, on the other team I can see the DW2 and Matilda. Matilda, I could not penetrate it anywhere in the tank at all, forget about it. Never even bother shooting Matilda. And the DW2, if I'm at anything but very close range, I probably can't penetrate it either, because the penetration stuff's dropping off very quick. And it only has 62 mils. The DW2 has 50 mils front and sides. So if I'm even at very close range, you will bounce shots. You will penetrate some, bounce some. At long range, you probably haven't got a chance at all of penetrating it. So yeah, always look at that. So if you've made up if you're a new player, you look at who's on the other enemy team and decide beforehand what you will do if you encounter that tank. Right, same as if there was a Panzer 1C on the enemy team, I would try and avoid it at all costs, because it would just rip you to pieces because you haven't got much armour. So if you don't tank that much armour, you see Panzer 1C on your team, so okay, I've got to avoid that guy. So those sort of decisions. DW2 Matilda, I don't want to be in a position where they can return fire at me, and especially Matilda, is just no point even engaging it at all, unless maybe I was tracking it for somebody else to shoot or something like that. Alright, so we've spotted a Lux there as well, somewhere. So far we've engaged players, believe it or not. That first tank we shot was definitely a player. This one's a player as well. You can tell because players don't move. Like that other guy didn't move when we were shooting at him, which he was so focused on shooting whoever he wanted to shoot that he just thought, oh, I'll kill this other tank and then I'll move. That's a human reaction. Oh, we got hit by a Martyr 32. Run! No! No! Run! Run! Don't stay in front of that gun. Okay. So he penetrates with the second shot for 123 damage. That's a lot of damage at tier 4. And the Martyr 38T, yeah, he's got a really good gun. He's already got 5 kills. Are you kidding me? I wonder if it's all our bots. Okay, so for future reference, that spot up there, if you've got a good gun, looks like you can kill bots there. They must all drive down that side of the map. Alright, I can see these guys I assume they're going to come up and try and shoot down, so I'm pre-aiming. They're not spotted anymore, so I just take some preemptive shots in case they're sitting there having shots. But I've got a feeling they just kept going. So we're losing this match at the moment. But a lot of their tanks that are remaining are bots. So it looks like I've just spotted a Type 91 out in the field. It is a bot. So normally players won't drive around in the field unless they're really experienced. That's one into it. So at this sort of range the gun is good because it hits. At longer ranges it's not so good. Type 91 has almost no armour at all, so no problems with 62 mils of penetration. We spotted a Chiha there as well, which is also a bot. I think he's gone into cover. No, he hasn't gone into cover. There he is. This is the perfect spot for this tank. We only have to really just poke our gun and a little bit of our turret over. And yeah, he's gone. DW2. I'm going to take shots because I'm in cover. And then I realise... Oh, someone else is shooting it. Wait a second. That's a Matilda. Run. Run, 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 run. Yeah, take a hit. Doesn't matter. Just run. The Matilda driver is firing gold. He's top tier. He's firing gold? Okay. Whoa, there's 2 of them. I went too far out. They'd been spotted. I don't know why I drove so far out. I must have been paying attention. Pre-aiming, getting ready to shoot. I am worried that tanks are coming up behind me. And I go to make a move and that was a stupid move. And I get killed. He was firing gold as well. But the Matilda has better penetration than any other tier 4. And I think it has better penetration than even most tier 5s. And he's firing gold. He must be rich. Okay, so that turned out to be a mastery game in the tank, ably assisted by the bots on the enemy team. We also got high caliber in that game. Although, to be fair, a lot of those tanks that I got were players, so, yeah. We finished on top for our team with 580 XP. That Martyr 38T on the other team finished top for its team, and it did pretty well. Oh, did we lose that game? Yeah, we did. Defeat. Okay. So... shots fired, 28, 20 of them hit. Of the 20 that hit, 18 penetrated. So it's pretty good penetration. I think the 2 that we bounced, one was on the Matilda and one was on the DW2. So we did 1,230 damage, which is pretty darn good. Received 8 hits and we bounced 2 of them as well. Enemies spotted 6, we damaged 7 and destroyed 5. So all in all, a pretty good game, making 24,000 profit? Yeah, which is not bad. We did get courageous resistance there, that helped a bit. So I would say that I haven't shown you any games against tier 5. So against tier 5, the tank suffers quite badly because the penetration is only 62mm. There are a lot of tier 5 tanks that we can't penetrate with this tank. So, and because it's one of the slower scout tanks, it has trouble flanking the other tanks, and it also, because of its low view range, it doesn't sort of spot them particularly well either. So tier 5 it suffers quite a bit. But definitely tier 4 against other tier 4s and stuff, it's fine. Thank you for watching my review of the 14TP. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to Reginaldesq and have fun.